Remember Drag Time Story Hour? You know those wonderful people dressed in wonderful clothes. Well, actually, not really. They're groomers who are actually peddling this garbage to your little children. Well, actor Kirk Cameron says, I'll do one better. I like to do it faith-based. No! Libraries told him, get to stepping. Kill them on step! Really? I'm Jasper Gonzo, and this is What's Next. Hey guys, Jasper Gonzo, what's next? Your daily dose of common sense and facts with some salt. Hope you guys are doing well today. Drag Time Story Hour, which has been extremely controversial over the past year, easily 2 years, where you have grown men, some gay, some not, dressed in drag, sitting in libraries, surrounded by little children, 3, 4, 5-year-olds, reading to them or peddling their groomer nonsense and very, in my opinion, very demonic down the throats of children. But of course, their parents are standing by, with big grins on their faces. Of course, they are the sole reason and the blame for this garbage. Then you have someone like Kirk Cameron. Kirk Cameron, former actor. For those who are old enough, like myself, to remember him in Growing Pains. Of course, born-again Christian, started a number of Christian movies and a number of Christian family faith-based books. Speaking of, he's got a new book, Brave Books, in regards to children and from a faith-based standpoint on how they can be better people. Well, he went to a number of libraries and they all shot him down. Over 50 libraries have shot him down because he wanted to talk about a faith-based book. God forbid we actually mention the Lord's name when it comes to children, because we would rather have Groomerville in our libraries. But it looks like things have turned. A number of libraries, dozens of libraries across the country have stepped up and said, Kirk, we want you to read the books. Read your book at the libraries. So here we go. This comes out of Breitbart. Watch, huge crowds attend reading a faith-based children's book despite libraries' attempt to stop them. Yes, even though these are public libraries paid for by the state, money, not private. Of course, it violates the First Amendment, but who the hell cares? Because it's about your feelings and no one cares about facts. Adults and children filled the Indianapolis Public Library main branch on Thursday to hear actor, writer, and film producer Kirk Cameron read his recently published children's book, As You Grow. The library organization initially denied Cameron the opportunity to read the book for its story hour, but later caved and allowed the event to happen. Why? Because of the massive backlash. A video recording shows a long line of people wading into the building. Photos capturing families sitting on the floor and standing against a wall. Quote, this was the largest event held at a library in its 137-year existence. Zach Bell with Brave Books, who is the book's publisher, commented, the turnout was phenomenal. We were blown away. Cameron's book centers around tree growth and teaches children about family, faith, and biblical wisdom. There he is standing there in front of a crowd of families. According to Bell, the Indianapolis Public School originally denied the ability to book read. We sent them a letter that threatened legal action, and they backed down, because of course they did. Meanwhile, Cameron and his publisher recently criticized libraries that would not allow public reading of his book, but offer drag queen story hours for children. Gee, I wonder why. However, quote, no more will the family of faith be shut down or shut out from the public square, Cameron wrote in a social media post Wednesday. At the recent book reading in Indianapolis, Bell said that they were frustrated that the library put the group on the 6th floor in a small room when the building has an auditorium. Because, oh no, you got to remember that auditorium is it's for the drag queens. Quote, when we were asked, why didn't they put us in the auditorium? They responded, you never asked. But the parents and families that came out were so supportive, he noted. During the event, Cameron thanked the crowd for coming and told them to find more great books and read them to their children. Quote, God bless you. Happy New Year, he said. The author is scheduled to read his book at New York's Scarsdale Library today.
So let's say you want to host a drag time story hour with 7-year-olds. You obviously can use your public library for that, but you can't read a book about God at a public library. And the actor Kirk Cameron just learned that. Dozens of public libraries refuse to give him a slot to speak to kids about his new faith-based book called As You Grow. One Rhode Island library told him, quote, "We are a very queer-friendly library. Our messaging does not align." Okay, Kirk Cameron joins us tonight. Kirk, thanks so much for coming on. So they wouldn't let you read this book? This book was banned in libraries? How controversial is this book?
Well, it's a book that teaches biblical wisdom through the seasons of life to children and the value of growing the fruit of the Spirit, like love, joy, kindness, patience, gentleness, self-control. And I wanted to do a book reading at a public library, and I was denied by over 50 woke libraries that have hosted drag queen story hours. One of the most outrageous denials was Alameda County Public Library that said they didn't want that book teaching kids biblical values, while at the same time they're hosting a gender name change clinic tomorrow. And I'm thinking, wow, if we're so committed to diversity, why am I being excluded? Why can't I use your facility to read my book? You're a library.
Well, yeah. So we began the show with a story about how the president of Ukraine has banned a Christian religion in Ukraine. And then we get to your story where the libraries ban your book. So the thread here appears to be fear and hatred of Christianity. Why do you think a religion based on peace and tolerance, turning the other cheek, not showing vengeance, is so scary?
Well, my understanding of history is that the family and the church are two great pillars of Western civilization. And those two things need to be removed and taken out of the way in order to fundamentally change the power structure and the moral value code of the nation. And that's why parents are fighting back. In fact, Tucker, hundreds of parents and librarians are now emailing us saying, we want your book and we want to host our own Brave Book Story Hour in our public library. So here's my call to action. I want every parent and every grandparent in America to get their favorite children's storybook, my book or other Brave books, or a book of the Bible. Call your local public library that has hosted a Drag Queen Story Hour and say, I'd like the chance to read my book in the library. And if they say no, they're likely breaking the law and violating the Constitution, and they can contact bravebooks.com. We'll give them free books and all that they need to turn that denial into a revival in their community.
I think the posture that you're taking, which is gentle and calm and brave and persistent, is something I personally can learn from. Less outrage, more rational response. And I think that really works. And I hope that you inspire other people to do the same. Tell your story. Don't get mad. Be honest. Thank you.
Thank you. I think you're right, Tucker. And to Christians particularly, we often get told no in the public square. We go home with our tail between our legs, crying in our Chick-fil-A soup, waiting for the rapture, rather than getting on the offense and saying, let's invest in our children and teach them the values we want them to learn.
Amen. I completely agree with that. And the way you're doing it is the way to do it. I appreciate it. Kirk Cameron, thanks.
My thoughts. The fact of the matter is that when you have public school libraries, public libraries across the country who have no problem having clowns dressed like clowns peddling groomer, garbage, demonic nonsense down the throats of your children, that's okay. We're good with that. But here comes Kirk Cameron, famous actor, writer, producer, director, comes in and says, hey, I've got a new book. It's based on family, faith, and regarding the children. Oh, no. We can't have that because we just don't like God. And of course, anytime you mention God or Jesus Christ, you're looked at as the Antichrist. You're looked at as the devil. When in reality, the devil's sitting in front of your children with his nutsack thrown in their faces. This is the America, sadly, we live in 2022 and soon 2023. But thank God that we have those like Kirk Cameron and others who will step up and say, you know what? Enough of this. This needs to stop. Families need to hear real things that are happening. And of course, children's books that actually speak to the children and not indoctrinate them into such demonic garbage. Good for him. God bless him. I'm Jasper Gonzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share it, subscribe to it. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.